Matt, you called me yesterday about the Kmart closing, and you enlightened me on something that's going to happen there. Share with us what's going to happen as you hear it in West Ashley on Savannah Highway with that big piece of land next to our station.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to parlay off of what you were just talking with Mark French about the Citadel Mall. Mm-hmm. A huge piece of property in that big office building. I think that's been for sale for a long time.
Right.
I know that you're in real estate, so you would know better than I would. But apparently Kmart has been sold to Rick Hendrick's auto dealership.
Wow.
Now, I don't know what other kind of car dealership they would put in there.
Might put an auto mall there. They've got a whole thing across the street, and they always appear to be busting at the seams. They may just want a bunch more space to put cars out.
Absolutely. Some time ago, this has been before maybe at the height of the real estate market, Mayor Riley was quoted in the paper that he thought that the owner of the Kmart should sell or should develop it kind of like the Gathering Place over there on Maybank Highway. And apparently the owner of the Kmart does not like Mayor Riley because he said, look, I've got this long-term lease and I'm making money just not doing anything.
Right.
But it was only sold for $10 million is what they said in the paper. The biggest concern, this is the entrance into Charleston. And now we're going to have nothing but car dealerships. I only saw it in the paper.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it anywhere else. I called Black Bean. They're aware of it, and they just spent a ton of money redoing it, new equipment, which is not cheap by any means.
And they got a nice building, the Black Bean Company. I eat there for lunch sometimes when I leave the station later in the day.
Right.
It's a great restaurant. You were telling me yesterday you think that business might face some challenges with their lease because of this sale if it in fact goes through.
Right. And
did you verify that Rick Hendrick has in fact bought the Kmart building? Is that what?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So
for
they have done
$10 million. Now you're in real estate. I would think that big chunk of property is worth more than 10.
Well, that's a condition you're finding with the market. The problem is that this is an example where the Dodd-Frank regulations are affecting business people and landowners in the Charleston area. People call me up all the time and they want to sell a piece of land and they're shocked at what I tell them it's worth. And the problem is that the Dodd-Frank regulations make it very difficult for a bank to lend money. So you end up having this group of people in the real estate business, if you will, whether it be a car dealer or a hospital or whatever. These large institutional people have the wherewithal to get these loans to buy these properties, and all the people that normally would do speculation or land development or whatever are struggling to get loans because they're more in the small and medium business owner arena. So the issue that we face still in this country is the rollout of Dodd-Frank is causing people's land that would be worth $15 million to be only worth $10 million, or that lot that would be worth $200 to only be worth $125, because there's not great access to capital, even though there's a ton of it out there. So I don't think that sounds out of line on the price. I guess the question is...
well, they paid cash. They did pay cash. That's what the paper said.
And that's why they are able to get it for what might be a song and a dance in comparison to what it could have been just 5 or 6 years ago, because I don't want to say there's no loans, because that'd be misleading, but the lending environment is impossible because of Dodd-Frank. That's why I keep talking about Dodd-Frank, because it's affecting you and my listeners, and it's affecting Joe on the other side of the window, and it's affecting me every day as we walk down the street and earn a paycheck or do business. And so, well, what else is going on? Let's talk about why it is that Rick Hendrick wants to spend $10 million when they already have a nice footprint on Savannah Highway. We've got a situation here in Charleston that's quite unique to this country. If you really look at it, it ought to brighten your day some. Have you noticed as you drive by car dealerships anywhere in the low country that 4 or 5 years ago, when this financial crisis and this economic crash was at its worst, the car lots were like a third full? Now they are busting at the seams with cars galore because they're selling cars galore. And the question is, well, why? There's two reasons. One of them is a national reason, that the car population, if you will, in our nation is the largest it's been as far as the age of the car. The highest age it's been in a long time. And secondly, in Charleston, specifically to our region, there's thousands of people here that we haven't had before working good-paying jobs, specifically at Boeing, but in other spinoffs of that and other unrelated jobs as well. We've got something of a boom going on here economically. So I think Rick Hendrick is looking at it going, we need space, we can sell these cars, we can build a class
my
place.
concern is this, Brian.
Yeah.
The Kmart has a pharmacy in it. And, right across, right behind you just have to watch out for everybody, especially yourself. But that's the only pharmacy we have on Savannah Highway. Unless you go all the way out past Main Road, we have no pharmacies here. I don't shop at Kmart for, I might buy a tube of coke on a Sunday, but...
Let me take that and run with it for a minute. Let me tell you what my position on this would be. And first of all, I would really hate to see if Black Bean Company doesn't get to stay in that location. It's got a nice building, a great restaurant. It's something unique on Savannah Highway, and I enjoy their food. So personally speaking, I'd hate to see them have to move or close down or whatever there. So hopefully Rick Hendrick would go, hey, wouldn't it be great if we had a nice restaurant right in the middle of our car lot so people who are waiting on the financing or service can run over and do that? It seemed to me it would be a nice partnership that could develop there. So I'll be optimistic there for a minute. But when you talk about the services, there's this central planning situation that our leaders in the community, this could be Savannah Highway over in Mount Pleasant, up in Somerville, doesn't matter where, we have the same condition everywhere in our Tri-County that is somewhat unique to us. We have all this great stuff going on. We got all this great growth that I just talked to you about. But then we have this oppositionist mentality. Let's stop everything. And I'm not saying you're saying that. I'm saying you're addressing a concern about the pharmacy. But the leaders ought to be going out there as ambassadors, attracting what you as a citizen, Matt, need or want in your community. But they're not doing that. They're focused their energy on things like projects on James Island. The mayor's focused on green space and bike paths and all this stuff. And I applaud his efforts for wanting to make it a livable city. But we're not going out and going, wouldn't it be great if this Citadel Mall had a Nordstrom and a Macy's? Wouldn't that transform?
Oh, man, you're talking to my wife right now.
Wouldn't that transform West Ashley in a very good and profound way? But let me tell you what. If they decided to tear down the Citadel Mall and level it and attract Simon Property Group, which has some of the greatest malls in the nation in, and that would be what they would come here to bring, is probably a Nordstrom and a Macy's or something like that. There would be a host of hacks from the environmentalists and the Coastal Conservation League and whatever go, traffic, and we're going to have to 526, you're going to have to complete it if we do that, and it's just going to ruin, and there's going to be something with a smokestack over there, and I don't know how they do that in a mall, but it's going to be there, and that's the kind of crap we would have to listen to. So what we end up with, due to lack of leadership in our local government by our local people, is we end up with the auto mile.
Right. And just to let you know, it's that man's property, and whatever he wants to do with it,
absolutely,
he can do whatever he wants. It was just I saw it in the paper, and I thought that maybe somebody in the news, TV news, would pick it up and run with it.
Don't count on that around here. Well, Matt, I appreciate your concerns. They're very well-intentioned. They're very viable concerns, but you're a good American for saying at the end of the day it is his property, and we don't want to get in his way.